Hello everyone, welcome to the OneClass channel. My name is Andrew and I'm currently doing Stat and Math at University of Toronto. And today we'll be going over some commonly asked mathematics questions at both the high school level and college levels. And if you need some homework help or tutoring, please check out the links in the description below. So now let's start our session. Alright. So our first question today is asking us, what is a perfect square trinomial? Alright, so let's copy down the question first. What is a perfect square trinomial? Right. So, a perfect square trinomial is an algebraic expression with three terms. So let's write the keyword down. Three terms that are created by getting the square of binomial. So square of binomial. Right. And in a perfect square trinomial, two of our terms will be perfect square. Two of our terms is perfect squares. Perfect squares. And if we do not have two perfect square terms, then this trinomial is not a perfect square trinomial. So let's use an example to explain a little bit more. Let's say we got 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared. So here we can see that we have two terms that are perfect square, which is 4x squared and 9y squared. Let me write this down. Oops. Two perfect squares in our case would be 4x squared, 9y squared. Right. And the middle terms should be the product. So middle term should be the product of 2 times the first term and then square root it, and then times the third terms and then square root it. Right. So define our first term as root 4x squared, which is positive or negative 2x, because we just take a square root of 4x squared, and 2x times 2x is equal to 4x squared, and negative 2x times negative 2x is still going to be equal to 4x squared. And define our third term, which is square root of 9y squared, which is equal to positive or negative 3y. Right, because 3y times 3y is 9y squared, and negative 3y times negative 3y is still going to be equal to 9y squared. Right. Therefore, our middle term is 2 times positive or negative 2x times positive or negative 3y, which is positive or negative 12xy. Right. So now we can write our conclusion. Therefore, 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared is a perfect square trinomial. Right. And just want to add a little bit more. So this perfect square trinomial can also be written as 2x minus 3y squared. Yeah. All right. So I think that's all we go for this question. Okay, let's leave a comment here. Correct. All right. So coming up, our second question is asking us, what is a hexagonal prism? So a hexagonal prism is a three-dimensional object that has two parallel hexagonal bases. And a hexagon is defined as a 60-sided polygon. And so first let's draw a graph. So first let's draw a hexagon. So it should be something look like this. Right. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides of it. And as we mentioned before, it is a three-dimensional object that has two parallel hexagon bases. So let's add it. Okay. I'll just erase the number in order to better draw this graph. Right. So it should be something look like this. And then let's first talk about the surface area of this hexagon prism. So area. Oops. So the area of hexagon prism it is given by the formula surface area is equal to 6AH plus 3 squared, where h is our height, so height, and a is just our base. I mean the base length, so a. Yeah, so same thing for here, a. Right. And yeah, let me write this down the side as well. So a is just our base length. H is our height. Of the prism. Yep. And then let's talk about the volume of it. So a volume of hexagonal prism, it is given by the formula V, which is stands for volume, is equal to 3√3 2 a squared h. still A is stand for the base length, and H is stand for the height. Yep. Oh, and let's just write the definition for hexagonal prism. So, definition. So it is a three-dimensional object that has two parallel hexagonal bases where a hexagon is defined as a six-sided polygon. Right. So, oops. Right, so it's a green area at the top and has a parallel hexagon corresponding bases on the bottom as well. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's all we got for this question. Right, so coming up, third question today. What is Rhoda handler? All right. So first, let's express a handler as a product of its prime factors. So a handler, first, it can be written as 4 times 25, right? Because 4 times 25 is equal to 100. And 4 can be represented by 2 times 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. And 25 can be represented by 5 times 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. Therefore, root 100. Oops. So 100 can be written as 4 times 25, which is also equal to 2 times 2, which is from the 4 part, times 5 times 5, where the 5 is coming from the 25 part. Therefore, we have root 100 is equal to, we just copy down this part, so 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Right. And then this is also equal to 2 times 5, 2 times 2, we use a bracket, times 5 times 5. Right. And since we know that, oops, I'll change the color. Since we know 2 times 2 is just equal to 2, and 5 times 5, and I want to take a square root of it, it is just gonna equal to 5. So by knowing this, we go back to our question. So root 2 times 2, and we can take the 2 out, which is 2, and 5 times 5, if I want to take a square root of that, it is gonna equal to 5. So 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Therefore, we can write our conclusion. Therefore, root 100 is equal to 10. Right. Because remember, 10 times 10 is equal to 100. Right. So I think that's how we got for this question. Correct. Good job. All right, so our next question is asking us, what is the equation to circle with center for 7 and a radius of 7? Right. So first, let's write down what we have. So what we have is the radius equal to 7 and the center is at 4, 7. Right. So first, let's draw down the diagram to help us better understanding this question. So should be a graph look like this. So let's see, the center is 4, 7. Right. And also recalling the equation of the circle, I'll write that down here. Equation of circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And yeah, so let's say this point is hk. So, and here will be our radius. So this part, if we create a right triangle here, the height be y minus k, and the base will be x minus k. I mean x minus h. Yeah. And so now we just need to substituting our values in. So, substituting. Right. So we know our center is 4, 7. So since the center is at 4, 7, we have x minus y squared plus y minus 7 squared, which is equal to r squared, and given that the radius 7, so that's where the 7 comes from. And we're using the formula of square root of binomials, which is given by this formula. So a minus b squared is just equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab. Right. So our original equation is going to be equal to x squared minus 8x plus 16. That's from that's from the x minus 4 squared part. and plus y squared minus 14y plus 49. And this is from the y minus 7 squared part, right? And 7 squared is just 7 times 7, which is just 49. All right. So we're combining the electric terms. So we have x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 14y plus 16 plus 49 is equal to 49. And then now we don't need to actually add this up because we got a 49 on the left hand side and a 49 on the right hand side, right? So we just need to minus 49 on both sides in order to get our final answer. So it's going to be x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 14y plus 16, which is equal to 0. And yeah, so I think that's the equation of the circle. Okay, so now let's leave a comment there. Oops. So correct. Correct. Well done. Oops. Okay, so next question. So it's asking us what is a product in mathematics. So product in mathematics. Right. Okay, so first thing, so product refers to the answer to a multiplication problem. So let's write the keyword down. Multiplication problems. Right. So for say if we got a 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and 6 is gonna be our product. And same thing if we got a 3 times 3, which is 9, 9 is also our product. And 2 and 3 are just the factors. Yeah. And also multiplication is often referred to as repeated addition because a factor is the number of times you add a number to itself. So for example, let's say we got a 2 let's say multiply 2 by 5. It just literally means we add 2 to itself 5 times. This is equal to add 2 to itself for 5 times. Right. So 2 times 5 is just equal to 2 times, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. And there are 5 2 in total. Right. And still, because 2 times 5, 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 10 as well. Yeah. And coming up, we have our for properties of multiplication. So let's use blue. For properties. Right. So the first one will be the associative property. Associative. Yeah. So when 3 or more numbers are multiplied, the product is the same regardless the grouping of the factors. So for say we got 2 times 3 times 4, and if I group the first two, this is going to be equal to 2 times 3 times 4, and I group the 3 and 4. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what your groups are. The product is the same regardless of the grouping of the factors. Yeah. So let's see. We got oops. Let's say we got a 4 times 5 times 6. If we want to group the last two, it's gonna still be equal to the product if I group the first two. Right. So the second one will be the commutative property. Right. So which is just literally means when two numbers are multiplied together, the product is the same regardless the order of the factors. So 2 times 3 is just 3, is the same thing as 3 times 2. And 100 times 1 is just same thing as 1 times 100. Yeah. So this is a straightforward one. And also we have our distributive property. Plus 3 is just equal to 4 times 6 plus 4 times 3. Yeah. And the last one will be our identity property. So the product of any number and 1 is the number itself. So let's say we got 100 times 1, it's just going to be 100 itself. And we got 5 times 1, it's just going to be 5 itself. We got 1,000 times 1, just going to be 1,000 itself. Yeah. So that's all we have for this question. Good job. Yeah. So I think those are all the questions for today. And if you enjoyed today's Q&A and would like to be notified of when we do this next, please see the subscription button and notification bell below. And if you'd like to submit your own questions, please visit the links in the description. Remember to leave a like and a comment and share this video with a friend. And this has been Andrew from OneClass. Hope to see you soon. Bye.